Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is a day like none other. We're on section D of the legit kits. So it's Tuesday. That's the day we do ours. So right now I'm going to show you where I'm at in the process. We've completed A, B, and C, and as you can see, all the columns are lined up. Your 1s are over here and your 8s, so when you go in the end and we're building the whole quilt in its entirety, there's a reason why you lay your blocks out in the way that they did. But I'll show you that in the end. But today we're working on this row D. I've got all these pieced up all the way over to here, so I wanted to bring you in for a bit just to show you the final piecing of it. I've had a few subscribers reach out and ask me if I would show you how to do the block in its entirety, and I've told them that I will, and you'll see that being done in the G column as well as in the E column. I've saved a couple of the harder blocks back so that as we get ready to do these, you're going to be able to see how intricate some of the details are and how to make that happen. So let me move this out of the way and I'll show you where we're at. This is only going to be 3 straight lines today, and this video is going to go really fast. I went ahead and pieced these together per the diagram that I have, and they have their assembly guide, and I've already showed you that, so I don't want to bore you with the same stuff repetitively. So these are all ready. So when you're getting ready to lay out your blocks, all you do is make sure you have a flat surface. Your assembly guide tells you in what order you need to make your blocks and build them out. So I'm at the section right now, and I've read every detail, is you're just going to marry these blocks. And if you pin at all these little sections, like right here, you're going to make sure that you're picking up all that detail. So you slide it up and you stick your first pin in here. So I'm doing this here on section 3. And then I'm going to slide over here on this side, and I want to make sure that my corners line up. That means a lot when these blocks come together in their final little piecing stage. So I've got that in, and I'm just going to slide it because I do not want it to move, not one little bit. Then I'm going to see where that little junction is right here, and we all know when you're FPP and your paper does slide just a little bit, so I'm going to give it just a little pin right here as well. I just don't want that to move because that's marking that I do want to hit. Then I'm just going to come down, and you've got your 1/4 inch here, and it's highlighted beautifully for you. And I'm going to slip a couple little clips in along the way. And then I'm going to come all the way down to the end. And if everything's lined up just the way it should be, I'm going to put a pin in it. And it should come through exactly where it needs to. And that is exactly where this one needs to line up. So I've got my pin there, as you can see. And it lays really flat. So I'm going to slide this piece out of the way. Move this over. And we're going to slide it under. And we're going to drop it right there. And I like to back tack when I'm joining my blocks. If I mess them up, it's a pain in the tuchus, but if I don't, I know that's not going to separate at all. Stay true to your 1/4 inch. Follow your line really slow. If you do everything in your assembly guide that you're instructed to do, the finished product is going to be amazing. Do your best. It's not a race, and just so slow. Pull your pin at that junction, and you're going to have a little thud there, and that's just where it's joining up. And at the end, I'm also going to stop, and I'm going to back tack it just a little dab, and I'm going to trim. Before I ever separate anything, I want to make sure that that's lined up right where it needed to be, and it is. You're going to tear your paper right here just at the seam. Leave all this other paper. It's really important too, because you're going to need that when you're joining all of your blocks together, and then we'll have a paper tearing party after it's all finished up, and then we'll press it out and you'll be able to see it when it's finished. But for right now, you just tear this one. And you try to get every little piece along the way. Now here at the junctions, so you don't have to go picking too far, it really helps if you just pull that out just a little bit and it'll fold back for you. Now we're going to move over to the iron. You're going to pull that back just a little bit and find your seam right here. I like to do a little bit of a finger press first and then hit it with the iron. Every seam's not going to look perfect and they're not all going to be really pretty. You just do these as flat as you can, flip it over, and you're going to continue here. Just finger press it. Now you've got these little bits here. So what I like to do is go ahead and trim those off because you're not going to need them. And that's going to assist with laying your block flat. Make sure you don't burn your fingers and give it the little bit of heat. I always do come back with my acorn pen because I like my seams to be flat. Not that anybody's going to see them, but when the final piecing comes, that's going to make a difference for me. And then I'll just give it a little bit more heat and work it through. And as you can see, where multiple blocks have been joined together, you're going to hear a little thud when you're joining it up on your machine, and that's okay. That's not going to matter in the end. Just go slow. So now we're going to lay this one back down, and we're going to repeat and do the same thing here. You're going to flip it over, and as you can see, I'm going to have a couple places I'm going to need to line up. So to make sure that I'm picking it up right, I do this. Look for my intersections where things are going to be really important, and then I'm going to go ahead and wiggle this in, and I've got my pin. It's right here, and then I'm going to do this right here where this one joins. Be careful not to stick yourself like I just did. You're going through a lot of bulk right there because your blocks are joined. And then we're going to work our way up and make sure everything's lining up right where we want it to. And you find your little point and you wiggle it and just make sure that you're lined up. Now I know I've got that junction right here that's really important, so I'm going to stick a pin in it there as well because I want it to line up really swell. And just come straight down and pin it. Now we're under here, and I'm going to drop the needle and I'm going to back tack it in really slow. And we're going to pull it out, and we're going to repeat the same process. And pull your pins along the way. And pop it out. Trim your threads. That's really important because you don't want to have a lot of thread nesting. And as you can see, this came together exactly where it needed to. Right here where I had the pin. This line is really important that you line it up. So we're going to pop the paper. And then I'll show you the row in its entirety after I press this one out. And if you sew off the paper, you're going to have to do a little bit of picking, but I follow the lines every step of the way, and it's given me a fabulous quilt here in the end. And just get every bit of this paper that you can possibly get out. Flip it over and repeat. Now here where all of this is nestled in, just dig down in there and you'll get that out as well. Got a little tiny string hanging here, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. Slide all that paper out of the way. Flip it over. Just pull your block out just a little bit to flatten it. Finger press and repeat just as we did the first little section. And keep the heat on it. The flatter the better for me anyway. And I'm telling you what, I've had some blocks challenge me along the way, but not with this. Legit Kits has lined this up and made it so user-friendly. Anybody, new or seasoned, can do these blocks. And just take your time. You're going to learn a lot along the way as you're building this out. And the key to it all is slow and steady. You're not going to build a quilt in a day. But it's fun. Keep track of what you're building out. Set your rows aside or however you choose to do yours. I wanted to do mine this way to show you along the way and bring you with my journey of it. And as you can see, they're all pretty flat. And I think that's a win. I really like them when they come out flat and they come out nice. I always brush the extra lint off, but that's just me. You don't have to. And I've got a little tidbit sticking out here, and I'll go ahead and trim that off. Not that you have to, but if you've got any strings, now's the time to go ahead and get those. So let me get my blocks that I've got done and I'll give you a look-see. But look how nice these lined up here. This lined up here and down here. This little bit is going to be lost in the seam allowance, so I'm not worried about it. I didn't go back through and fix that. So where are we? I'll slide this in. So I'm going to just flip these over so you can have a look. As you can tell, some of the blocks had many pieces, but they're flat and they're all seamed together really nice. This is part of the grill, and it came together at all the junctions where it needed to. So that was A. This is B, we just finished. This is C. And that was a lot of work. Took me a couple days, but it came together really fun. And I'm just going to flip through and let you see how fabulous these guys look. Now, is that not cool? And that's everything for the D section. So I'll see you back next time as we work the next row of blocks. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.